Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. First, thank you so much for tuning in and spending some time with me. I am really happy to be back and doing a video that focuses on some unemployment that my husband received. So this is not back pay, this is actually a current unemployment payment. So it's his first current payment that he's actually received. And I'm pretty happy about that because it means that things are on track and that filing is going along smoothly. So he still has 9 weeks worth of back pay that he had applied for, did not receive, and then ended up having to file an appeal for. So we're still waiting on a decision and communication to be sent to us to give us some updates about that situation. So I'm really hoping that that comes through because that's a lot of money and it was a long time that we, did without him having anything coming in. And so I'm really hoping that the appeal goes through without issue and that he can get that back pay. So fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes. But I have some money here that was left over and I'll show you what that is from. I have the unemployment money here. He went and got that out of the bank for me. So I'm all ready to go with that. And of course I have my budget planner here and I'm going to open up to the current week and we can talk about how things are going and what's happening with all of this. So I started to do this layout a couple days ago, and as you can see, it included the money that came in from me doing Grubhub, and that was my 8th payday with Grubhub. $175 from my nephew that he pays to us for quote-unquote rents, and of course I have a space here for unemployment, and then I put aside some tax money, so that was able to increase what we have set aside for 2021 when we do our taxes. So as you can see, on July 9th I added $50, and what I did was I took approximately 20% of $242 and I added it to this envelope here. So this is really fastly becoming, quite the stuffed envelope, and unfortunately it's not going toward anything really tangible. It's just going toward our taxes, which, it's kind of stinks, but it's also really super unavoidable. So from that money, from the 175 plus the 242, let me show you here so everything makes complete sense. So 175 plus, I ended up adding 240, not 242. I just rounded down. So that was 415, and I subtracted $50 for the taxes, and that left me with $365. So hopefully that is what I still have here. 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 2, 20, 40, 60, 80, 3, 20, 40, 65. So $365 remaining from that. And then the unemployment was $10.80. And here I have $10.50 because he used $30 of it. So I'm just going to count this out. So we have 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 50, 850. Let's see. All right, 870, 890, 910, 930, 950. Oh goodness, these are new bills. 970, 990, 1010, 1030, 1040, 1045, and 1050. So there we go, and everything is all going in the same direction. So I'm going to separate all the like bills and then separate this in some kind of cohesive way for my sinking funds. So in that, going a little bit forward, is what I'm planning to do with this money. I'm just planning on saving it And since we have all of our bills paid and everything is kind of, you know, up to date, I don't want to say caught up, but we are up to date, I'm going to fund my sinking funds with this money and just kind of use it for that, because I don't get that many opportunities to do such a thing. So next payday, I'm really, really nervous. I have no idea what my paycheck is going to be, and I'm nervous / frustrated, but no more so than anybody else who finds themselves in this situation with pay cuts, layoffs, things like that. And just in case you are wondering, the unemployment that my husband received, I'm actually just going to write down here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down what I have in my hands, which is $10.50, and I'm going to write down $10.80 in parentheses. This does include COVID pay from the CARES Act, because he did lose his job due to COVID, the COVID situation. So this is the number that we are working with right here. All right, so let's see. I'm going to add everything up. So let's just say 240 plus, no, we'll do 242. 66 plus 175 plus 1080 really is 1497.66. So that's actually, guys, a lot better than we would do at our normal jobs. It really is. It's a combination of a lot of things. The Grubhub has been huge. Obviously, if you guys have been watching my side income videos, you know my history with that and the way that's been going. I give regular updates of how much I bring in with this every single week, because Grubhub does pay out every Thursday. I've decided that I'm not putting taxes aside for the unemployment right now. It's probably a mistake, but I just need to get my ducks in a row. I would really like to see him get his back pay and then reassess from there. And like I have said in probably every single video that I've done lately, I may be subject to another round of layoffs at my job this fall, so I'm really anxious is the correct word, to see how this all plays out and what ends up happening. So we shall see. So anyway, let's move on and talk about where our sinking funds are at. So for Christmas Club, I have $770, which I think is a huge amount given the situation. And it's actually more than I typically, it's a bigger amount than I'm typically at this point every year. So I'm really happy with this. I don't feel like I need to add anything to that right now, because I also want to do a separate special video where I start to track this on its own. So for the dogs, I'm at $404, savings $1455, and emergency is up to $5,900. So I am going to follow up this video with an update about coloring in where I'm at according to my goals and my trackers for these things, and you guys can see what my progress is, you know, where I started, of course starting at 0, but where I'm currently at and how much further I have to go with each one to meet my goals. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the remaining that I have right now, which is $365 plus $1050, and that's $1415, and I'm going to divvy it up amongst these here. So I think still for me the most important thing is going to remain my emergency fund, because I'm trying to reach $18,000. That's 6 months approximately, it's give or take, but it's right around 6 months worth of salary for me. So I really want to make sure that I can build that and hopefully sustain it without really drawing from it in the future, because I'm nervous. I'm nervous what could happen. If not now, what could happen down the road? I've just had a really, really false sense of security with my job for so many years, and I just can't take things for granted anymore. I really have to step it up and start, you know, super preparing for the future. So that remains my first priority. Second priority is our savings fund. And the reason why that is such high priority is because we definitely have some things that we need to repair for our house, repair and replace. And also I am saving as big of a down payment as possible on the next car. So we have 2 leases. And the next lease that's going to expire would be my husband's. I think he has 13 payments left, or maybe it's 12. So what we're going to do, hopefully, is just buy a car outright. And as I said before, we haven't decided if we're going to do a secondhand car or a new car or what our price point's going to be. But I'm really going to try and fund this savings, because pretty much anything that doesn't fall under emergency, dogs, or Christmas is coming out of this savings fund. And as you can see, it is a pretty skinny savings fund, you know, especially compared to these two. The dogs are really important, of course, but Christmas, I really, I feel proud about my progress with the Christmas fund, but at this point, I think I need to start concentrating on some of the other ones more so. So I have my envelopes here, as you can see. So I have my emergency fund, Christmas, you already saw my tax fund envelope. And I also wanted to mention that because of your advice, and you guys have some really, really great advice, and I read through the comments, I know I don't always get back to them, and my time is just, like everybody, it's just so limited anymore. I feel so stressed and pulled in so many different directions, but especially now that I'm back to work, it's really incredible. I was working from home, I was doing the same amount of work, but just the fact to go to bed at a certain time and, you know, have to wake up and get in the car and do a commute and everything else, it's just been a lot. So I really need to manage my time better, because for instance, I had every intention yesterday of coming home and doing Grubhub in the evening, and I didn't do anything. I did nothing. So that I can't let that start to happen. So we have $14.15, and I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take out $1,100, and that leaves me $315, and I'm going to add $1,100 to my emergency fund. And the reason why I want to do that, if you can see, I want to make it a nice round number. So $5,900 plus $1,100 is an even $7,000. Oh, so I started to tell you, you guys have given me such great advice along the way about so many different things. And one of the things was, you know, trying to find like a high interest yield or high yield interest savings account. And so I did a little bit of research and I decided to go with Discover. So I opened up a checking account with Discover, and my debit card is on the way, but I'm going to use that to hold these funds moving forward. Now, I did explain in my other video, what does that mean as far as like my videos, stuff in cash envelopes. I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm just not going to hold as much money at home. So the way I'm going to do it is once I make some deposits in Discover, I'm going to show you some balances via screenshots. And then, you know, I'll stuff cash envelopes, stuff sinking funds until I reach a certain level, and then I'll make another deposit. So I'm going to kind of do it like that, because this is, it is too much. You guys are right. It's too much to keep track of at home in cash, but also I could be making a little bit of money on it, hopefully. So I think Discover ended up being 1%. So we'll see. So anyways, I need 1,100. So that is 100, 200, 300, 400, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 40, 60, 80, 10, 20, 40, 60, 80, 11. Okay, so I'm going to pull this, and this will probably be the first one to go into Discover. So, all right, so I'm going to add this to my little card, and of course I'm still going to track just like I'm doing now, just for, you know, purposes like that, but not much is going to change. You're just not going to see as much cash in the videos. So I'm adding 1,100, and now I'm up to 7,000. All right, so again, if you are interested in seeing what my end game is, you know, what my goal is for this fund and where I want to be and what my progress is so far, just tune into my next video and I will show you, you know, just via coloring in my tracker and showing you where I'm at on the tracker. So I'm gonna put this in here, and then I'm gonna put this one aside. All right, so that left me with $315. So I think that I'm going to go ahead, let's see, I want to make this a round number. So let's see what 1,700 minus 1,455 is. 245. All right, so let's do 245 into savings. So let's go 20, 40, 60, 80, 1. Geez, these are so new. 20, 40, 60, 80, 2, 220, oh goodness, 240, and 245. All right, so we will make this a nice round number too. So I like that. So plus 245. So 245, oops, 1,455 plus 245 is 1,700. So that is the new savings balance. Now, if you guys are curious, or not curious, but if you're just kind of wondering, like, how does that work if you put the money in an account and if it's all in the same account, how do you keep track of it? To be honest, I have done cash envelopes before, just in electronic style, and all you need to do is track it on a piece of paper or your budget planner or whatever your medium is for keeping track of your money. And it's as simple as that. So your money's all in one place, your cash is all in one place, but at the same time, you can go back to something like this, something as simple as a note card, and you can say, oh, okay, this is all my savings, and then I have another note card for my emergency. And you can break it down and look at your history and things like that, and it's so simple. So it's really very uncomplicated and a very easy way to do things. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely make that work. You know, whatever your situation is, you can always make it work. So here I am with the savings, and I'm pretty happy with that. Not as happy as if it were a little bit more stacked, but again, emergency has to be my priority. So the dogs, we are at 404, and Christmas, we are at 770. I am not going to do anything with Christmas right now, so I'm going to put the remainder in the fund for the dogs, and I think that is a nice addition to it because, you know, you never know what's going to happen. We have 3 pugs, and, you know, they can be pretty needy. What the heck did I just do? Oh. Okay, this is my money. Okay, so I had 50, 60, 65, and $70 left. All right, so I'm adding 70. I wish it was a round number, but I need to get some ones for that to happen. So 404 plus 70, I'm now at 474. And let's make sure. I think that's always a good practice. Let's just make sure we are where we think we are. It's always good to double check yourself. It's always good to count, recount, you know, do whatever you have to do just to make sure that you are adding things correctly, that you're doing things correctly, and that you are on the page that you think that you're on. So I see nothing wrong with checking and rechecking ourselves. So this should be, I just added 70. Let me write that down here. And then the new balance should be 474. And then on Christmas, this week I'm adding 0, and then the balance is going to remain at 770. All right, so let's hope we have 474. So we have 100, 200, 250, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 71, 72, 73, and 74. So right on the money, 474. All right, so we are good there. And like I said, our one dog has an appointment coming up next week, and I could technically take it from this envelope because that is the purpose for it. But I really want to reach my goals for all these savings categories before I start drawing from them. And it's just a personal preference. I think everybody does things differently, and you know, you do things however they work for you. But at the same time, I just want to do that. I just feel bad depleting from it when I'm still trying to build it. So that's kind of my reasoning for that. So cash envelopes you know, I'm gonna write that here, but I stuffed them double last week because I wasn't sure what was going to happen this week. And, you know, living in a situation where you're just not sure what's coming in or how much is coming in, or if you're gonna have delays or problems, like I said, it can just be so stressful. So I just decided to stuff them double last week. So down here is where I keep track of my August bills, and I still have $1,500 in there. I have not added to that, and I don't think I will be until next Friday when I get paid again. So I need to reach a certain threshold for my bills, and I am a month ahead, and the way I was able to do that was I used our stimulus money to pay our bills a month ahead, and it's been really working out, and I'm so grateful for that, because this is the situation that I wanted to have for so many years, and I just was never able to get ahead of myself in order to do it. So the money that we are working for in July is going toward August, and hopefully we can keep that momentum going and keep that system going in the future. But this is what everything looks like so far. I don't anticipate any other money coming in between now and tomorrow. That would be nice. You know, maybe I would win the lottery, but this is it for the week. So I will be back next week, and I will be showing you guys, I'll be showing you Grubhub, hopefully unemployment, my regular paycheck. We have my nephew's paycheck budget coming up, and I'll also be doing a separate video immediately following this to give you an update of my sinking fund trackers. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did and you'd like to give it a big thumbs up, that really helps my channel. Of course, if you have any questions, please leave them down below, and I'll try to get back to those as soon as possible. My goal today is to get out and do some deliveries and try to make some money. Tomorrow is the cutoff for this week of Grubhub, so I want to make as much money between today and tomorrow as I can, because I've been so lax, and I just really need to get it together. So hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much again for spending some time with me, and I hope I see you guys in my next video. Take care.